Hello everyone, we are Group 1. My name is Simran and my team members are Shadrack, Shashank, Christy, Arun and Kelvin. Welcome to our video on the topic how to set up your project for success right from the start. Whether you are a seasoned project manager or just starting out, one universal truth remains. What you do at the beginning of a project often determines how successful that project will be. In this session, we will walk you through key principles, tools, and strategies that align with PAMBOK 6 and 7 to help you set up any project for success. So let's start. Why start strong? When we talk about project success, it's important to recognize how much it depends on the very beginning of the project. According to the PMI Pulse of the Profession 2021 report, 39% of project failures are directly linked to poor planning. That's nearly 4 out of 10 projects derail not by execution errors but by weaknesses in the earliest phase. Why is that? Because early decisions shape the trajectory of the entire project. This is when we define the scope, identify stakeholders, risk, and set expectations. If we get these steps right, we create a strong foundation. If we skip or rush them, we introduce the uncertainty that is hard to fix later. Think of it like a plane taking off. If the pilot sets the wrong course, even by a few degrees, the plane could end up hundreds of miles off track. In the same way, a project that begins with misalignment may drift away from its objectives. A solid start not only reduces risk, identifies potential issue or places mitigation plan, but also improves stakeholder alignment, and ultimately this leads to better outcomes, not just in terms of delivery but also in terms of value and stakeholder satisfaction. Remember, planning isn't just a formality, it's your most powerful risk management tool. So what success looks like? Success means different things to different stakeholders. For a project manager, it might mean finishing on time and within budget. For a marketing stakeholder, it could mean meeting a customer acquisition goal. For end users, it might be having a product that's intuitive and solves their problem. That's why it's crucial to align the definition of success across all key stakeholders early in the project. This requires actively listening to each group's expectations and facilitating a shared understanding of what success really means for the initiative. These conversations are not just administrative, they are strategic. We should then document the agreed upon success criteria in the project charter. This not only ensures clarity and accountability but also serves as a reference point throughout the project. According to PAMBOK 6, the charter is where we formally define objectives, boundaries, and success measures. It's not just about authorization. To ensure clarity, we use SMART success criteria: specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. For example, in a mobile app launch, a well-defined success measure might be the project will be considered successful if the app is live by March 31st with at least a 4.5-star rating and 10,000 active users within the first 60 days. This level of specificity helps align expectations, avoid future misunderstandings, and gives everyone from the sponsor to the delivery team a shared vision of what success truly looks like.
Early engagement of stakeholders. Stakeholders can make or break a project. Engage them early, understand their interests, and involve them in decision making. We begin with a stakeholder register, the tool that helps us to identify everyone who is directly or indirectly related to the project. Then we apply a stakeholder engagement matrix to assess their influence and interest. This helps us managing collaboration or engagement with them. For example, highly influential stakeholders like the business owner should be closely consulted. For instance, in our class project, we interviewed a business owner early on and discovered that the purpose of the project and their expectations. Without that insight, we may have misaligned our goals. Also, engagement is not one-time event, it's ongoing. By understanding their needs from the start, we reduce resistance, create value, and build a long-term support.
Choose the right delivery approach. Choosing the right delivery approach is critical to project success. PAMBOK 7 moves away from one-size-fits-all methodology and encourages tailoring the delivery approach based on the nature of the project. For example, if your project has evolving requirements, frequent feedback cycles, or high uncertainty, like a software platform for students. An agile approach may be more appropriate. It allows for iterative development and regular stakeholder input. On the other hand, waterfall works better for projects with well-defined scope, such as infrastructure upgrades or compliance-driven initiatives where changes are costly. A hybrid model combines the best of both. For instance, planning the infrastructure rollout using waterfall while developing user feature iteratively using agile. For this very educational video project, we have applied an incremental approach, creating the video in parts rather than all at once. We first developed some sections of the script, then created the video segments based on those. We tested and reviewed each segment before moving on to the next.
Hi, my name is Arun. People are the heart of any project. Start by identifying the skills required for each role and match them with the right individuals. Consider using a RACI matrix to clarify roles and responsibilities. Who's responsible, accountable, consulted, and informed. Also, build team dynamics early. Host informal sessions or icebreakers to establish rapport and communication norms. High-performing teams don't just happen, they are built deliberately. Developing team norms gives a lot of clarity in the formation and agenda of the team. Shared expectations around communication, response time, conflict resolution, and feedback. Setting these early built trust accountability from the start. Also, the decision making and escalation protocols help in avoiding the miscommunication and binds the team up. The project kickoff is not just a formality. It's the moment where the tone, vision, and direction are set. Use this opportunity to introduce the team, revisit the business case, outline roles, and review timelines. Ensure everyone understands not just what they are doing, but why they are doing it. Kickoff is also the time to surface potential risks and assumptions early and get them on the table. Encourage open dialogue by inviting questions and feedback from day one. This transparency builds trust and alignment. Document and share the meeting outcomes promptly to ensure everyone remains aligned and accountable moving forward.
Hi, my name is Kelvin. Defining projects KPIs early. Defining KPIs at the beginning gives the team a shared understanding of success. These metrics should be tied directly to the project's objective, like on-time delivery, customer satisfaction, or quality standards. In our video project, one KPI was getting script approval within 2 iterations. KPIs help evaluate progress during phase gate reviews and identify areas needing attention before it's too late. Without early metrics, success becomes subjective. Defining scope clearly. Scope defines the boundaries of your project, what's in and what's out. Poorly defined scope leads to scope creep, rework, and stakeholders' frustrations, all common causes of the project failure. Handbook 6 provides tools like work breakdown structure, that's the WBS, to break down deliverables into manageable, assignable tasks. In our video project, the WBS helped us break the work into clear phases like planning, development, testing, and communication, which improve task visibility and assignments. A clear scope statement, acceptance criteria, and assumptions must be documented and formally agreed upon by stakeholders. This alignment early on prevents conflicts later. To maintain control, establish a change control process to evaluate and approve proposed scope changes, preventing uncontrolled scope creep. Clear scope also help prioritize work effectively and manage stakeholders' expectations throughout the project lifecycle. Regularly visit the scope with stakeholders to ensure ongoing alignment. This clarity and control around scope are foundational to setting your project up for success right from the start.
Hi everyone, my name is Shadrack Baah. In this section, we are going to talk about planning realistically. We know that overly optimistic plans can doom a project before it really begins. That is why it is critical to base your schedule and budget on realistic, data-driven estimate, not wishful thinking. Leveraging historical data and expert judgment gives you a grounded starting point. Tools like Gantt chart and the critical path method helps visualize the sequence of tasks and identify which delays will impact the overall timeline. In class, we used the Gantt chart for the onboarding portal project. It clearly showed task dependencies and helped us spot the critical path, the sequence of activities that directly affect the project finish date. Good planning also means factoring in resource availability, constraints, and appropriate buffers to handle unforeseen delays. Remember, team members are rarely available 100% of the time. Another key success factor is involving your team in the planning process. Their input leads to more accurate estimates and builds commitment to the plan. Finally, recognize that a scheduled plan is a living document. You must regularly revisit and adjust it as progress is made and new risks or changes arise. A realistic, well-maintained schedule plan reduces surprises and scope creep, both of which are common causes of project failure. In essence, realistic planning is one of your stronger tools for ensuring success right from the start. Another success factor to ensure project success right from the start is to establish accurate cost estimate as early as possible. Getting your project costs right at the start is crucial to avoid surprises and loss of stakeholder confidence. A detailed work breakdown structure helps break the project into smaller components so you can estimate costs more precisely for each piece. Don't rely on guesswork. Consult subject matter experts and apply the required estimating techniques to gather realistic budget. Lessons learned also play a critical role when it comes to the cost estimation, as a similar project may have experience-related risk and cost overrun, which you can avoid occurring in your project. Including contingency reserves based on known risk as a safety net to your budget, helping you absorb any unforeseen costs without stress. Equally important is validating this estimate with key stakeholders early, ensuring everyone agrees and is committed. Additionally, adding management reserves also enable you to take care of unknown risk. For example, to avoid cost overrun in our video project, we conducted a thorough vendor selection process, comparing quotes for both voice-over artist and video production software prior to budget finalization.
Hi, this is Shashank. Risks are uncertainties that can affect your project, either positively or negatively. But the biggest mistake teams make is waiting too long to identify them. Proactive risk management at the beginning is essential to ensure project success. Start by creating a risk register early in the planning phase. This becomes your central tool to log, categorize, and evaluate risks toward the project. Don't forget about categorization of known and unknown risks. Use structured tools like SWOT analysis to uncover internal and external risks, and apply a probability impact matrix to prioritize which ones need immediate action. This helps the team focus on what could derail success if left unaddressed. Most importantly, go beyond just identifying risks. Develop clear mitigation and contingency plans. For instance, in our class project, we anticipated the risks of low team availability due to competing academic deadlines. So we implemented a cost training plan ensuring multiple team members could handle critical risks. This reduced single point failures and kept us on schedule. As emphasized in PMBOK 6, early risk planning is one of the strongest levers for long-term project success. Addressing risks from the start minimizes surprises and keeps the project steady, even when project success isn't guaranteed by good planning alone. It also requires constant attention throughout execution. Monitoring and controlling means continuously measuring project performance against your scope, schedule, and budget baselines, and also quality. Tools such as dashboards and status reports provide real time visibility, while techniques like earned value analysis give quantitative insight into whether the project is ahead or behind the schedule and budget. Early identification of variances allows the team to implement corrective actions before problems escalate. Maintaining open communication with stakeholders during this phase keeps everyone informed and engaged. For example, in our video project, weekly status meetings and dashboards helped us quickly spot and address delays in script approvals and keep us on track for the launch date.
Thank you for your attention. Let's build project that starts and finish strong.